Oh, there it is. Okay, I was setting it up so I could invite some people, and then I'm waiting for it to build my audience. I'm sipping on my mango lassi because I went to Spice 6 Modern Indian restaurant. It's actually a really beautiful day outside considering. But it's only this great because, we have that storm that's hitting the East Coast. So I'm just going to wait to see if we get some people on here. I know I'm a few minutes late, but I decided to step outside of the restaurant since they decided to turn the music on and I was sitting right under the speaker. You wouldn't have heard anything I really said. But like yesterday, I talked about group blocks for clients as well as from a travel agent aspect, and I really focus a lot on hotel groups. So today I wanted to focus more on cruise groups. And for a cruise group is basically considered 8 cabins, 15 people. Every cruise line might be slightly different, but on average, it's 8 cabins, 15 people. The reason why it's 8 cabins, 15 people, because you can technically have 8 cabins with 8 people, or you can have 8 cabins, each of them having 4 in there. So they have to have an 8 cabin with a minimum of 15 people total within the group. So once you have that set up and that organized, you can actually begin to look at some of the amenities that come along with it. For a client, but one of the benefits of actually booking a group cruise is that your deposit is going to be much lower. On average, the deposit for a group is going to be anywhere between $25 and $100, just depending on the cruise line, which is a lot lower considering that normally to berth yourself into a cabin, you have to have about $200 to $250 per person, and sometimes it's per cabin. Like I said, it does depend to get in, so that's definitely a great benefit. Plus you have extra add-ons to include the group rate. You also have onboard, you can have an onboard cocktail party, you can have a free drink package, you can even set it up so all the cabins are near each other, so you can sorry, I'm outside in buggies. You can be sitting all on the same level, and then not everybody has to book the same cabin, which I know is a misconception, that if you have a lot of people that want to book, say, balcony, and you have a couple that want to book suites, you can actually set it up so a few of them they can choose whichever cabin they want, and of course the pricing is going to change, but it has the ability to give people options. Another reason that you should do that falls in the same line as when you're doing it with cruises. Sorry, there is a train behind me. Is when you're on a cruise, you get to see multiple destinations at one time, and versus doing a hotel location, you're kind of landlocked and you're kind of stuck where you are. But when you're on a group, you can do you're on a cruise, you can do multiple locations, and you don't have to do, hey Keisha, you don't have to do all the same activities, which is another misconception that people have when they book a group cruise, is that you're going to be together doing the same thing all the time while you're on that cruise, and that's not necessarily true. As a travel agent, an agent can work with the cruise line to help you set up group-specific events, whether it's a private dinner, cocktail party, comedy show for the group, anything to that nature. Your agent and the specialist from the cruise line can set it up. You can even have items delivered to your attendees of the group. It could be a welcome letter. It could be t-shirts if everybody is going to be wearing the same t-shirts. You can have all that delivered to the cabin. Another benefit, obviously, for an agent is it's increased bookings. You're obviously going to make a higher commission when you are actually booking more people at one time. So instead of booking one cabin and making, say, $250 on one cabin. If you booked, say, 100 cabins, you just now made $2,500 in commission. That's a lot better, and they're all traveling at the same time, and it might be a little bit more work, but it's actually going to be worth it. For the client, the reason that, groups is better is because it's just more people to have fun with. Honestly, it's more people. I have people who are doing it and setting it up as a family reunion style, and they're going to have lots of different activities going on, and we're working to break it up in between the different age groups and things that people like, people don't want to do. And then you can also, as an agent, or even as a person who may want to go on a cruise but may not want to go, hey, Christine, Antoinette, you may not want to go on a cruise by yourself and you're trying to find other people to go on. From a client's prospect, what you do is you will look for people who are considered affinity members, which could mean your sorority members, your fraternity members, a track and field, military people, single moms, people who do crochet braids. That can be a trip on a cruise for That's essentially what an affinity group is a bunch of people who have one thing or a few things in common, may not necessarily know each other. Some of the other cruises that you have, they'll be promotional, which is basically somebody is sponsoring it and they're promoting it out to try to find people to come and do on a cruise, where they still may have something in common at the same time, but it's being promoted on a whole different level, more or less to the public. And I know this weekend I have a lot of people who are actually getting ready to go on a cruise that would be considered an affinity cruise. Make sure y'all are safe out there, because the weather is really bad down in the south right now. It's not real pretty. It's kind of wet. Want to be safe. If it's buffering, Christine, I have no idea. I am sitting outside. I don't know what to tell you. What was I saying? I was reading and I lost my train of thought. Okay, from an agent aspect, some of the things that's going to be difficult for an agent that is doing a group cruise is keeping track of everybody's payments. When you do a group cruise and you have people making their payments, they're going to be making their payments directly to you, the agent. I'm going to let the FedEx truck go by. Sorry. So basically what you want to do is you want to make sure that you set up, I use an Excel format that allows me to keep track of everybody who makes a payment, what type of cabin they want to be in, how many people they have in their cabin and who they're expecting to be in the cabin, as well as a list of the payments they have made. Because when a person is making their deposit to you, the deposit is only to reserve a space. It does not put them into a cabin. For clients, it is a lot better when you tell somebody, hey, we're going on this cruise. All you have to do is give me $50 and it reserves your space, versus telling them, hey, we're going on this cruise, I need $250 from you. When you start collecting the money and things of that nature, you'll have it set up with the group cruise line, and you'll have the money actually going. You're not holding the money. And clients, we're not holding your money. We're actually putting the money directly onto the group cruise block, and it's holding the space and it's building up. Once an individual has deposited enough money to berth a cabin, which is in cruise terms booking, you can actually turn around and start putting them inside of cabins. If there's any sales deals or anything going on, you can still apply those deals to the actual cabin.
And then they said, well, yeah, I got a call from Scott.
So I'm outside, so I got everybody walking around kind of looking at me, sipping on my mango lassi. It's yummy. So basically, yeah, so as you're going along, if you are doing a group, and from a client aspect, you don't necessarily have to do everything that the cruise ship wants to do. If this is a religious group and you want to have church on one of the days, you can actually arrange to have church. You can have meetings and conventions with AV systems, and it's all free. Majority of the cruise lines do not charge you anything extra for the space, for the AV, for the communications. Every cruise line is slightly different, but majority of them do not have an extra fee added to it. So this was a great way to have meetings at sea. These are great ways if you want to do presentations, if you want to do awards, things of that nature. For the agent aspect, we already talked about how it's really great for the agent to set it up, because the agent is going to make a good amount of money. Don't forget, if you have questions, to type it in and I'll answer any questions you have. So you also are allowing yourself to introduce yourself to a whole new line of clients. As I've stated before, when you're working with a group, you're basically showing yourself showing yourself to these people that you're a great agent, you're showing them your services, and in the end you can get repeat service from them. And it's a lot easier to get and keep a client than trying to find a new client all the time. And I know for most clients are quick to say, you know, they don't want to go on a cruise, period, just because they think the ships are small, there's nothing to do, that it's really expensive, and things of that nature, or just because they don't want to fly all the way to Florida. A lot of people don't realize that you can take a cruise out of Miami, New Orleans, California. You can even do a cruise out of Hawaii, San Juan, Puerto Rico, which is actually really fun. You get to do the Southern Caribbean. Another FedEx truck. I think it's delivery time because there's a lot of them coming through. I got a U.S. food truck now making noise. But there's a lot of different places that you can actually leave from. And then you also, if you don't want to leave from the United States, you can actually do cruises that start in Italy. They start in the Asia, the Mediterranean. Those are always great options that you can do as well for a group as well. And then somebody had asked me about sport groups. Sports groups are great for this, whether they're the players or if these are people who are fans of football. Like I know there's a cruise for the Super Bowl. They're going on the cruise during the time of the Super Bowl, and they're going to watch the Super Bowl while they're on the ship. I think that's a great opportunity. If you have questions, please ask questions. I can answer them. It doesn't really matter what the question is as long as it's pertaining to group cruises. Let's see. What else can I think about? Because I'm actually working on a group family reunion cruise of about 100 cabins right now. Generally, I do suggest, though, that if you are going to plan a group cruise, that you plan it at least a year out. If it is a holiday like July 4th or Christmas, Thanksgiving, a year and a half out, because what happens is that those spaces actually get blocked really quickly, and then you lose your spacing. Because when you actually request to have, when you request to have a group cruise through a cruise line, you're not actually holding any rooms, because you can't hold any rooms for majority of the cruise lines unless you put money down. Now, Royal Caribbean, I know, is different, where you can secure cabins and you can hold cabins, but you have to have your full deposit within 30 days. On average, they expect their deposit between 30 and 60 days of the agent actually putting it into the system. That is why you take that time to basically make sure you know where you want to go, who's going to go, and you give your people enough time to start saving up the money. What is different, though, with group cruises versus a hotel block, there is no contract to sign, so you don't have to worry about trying to read a fancy contract and making sure everything is okay. I do suggest for clients who are thinking about going on a cruise to actually do a little research first yourself. Figure out where you want to go. That is one of the most important things, is to know where you want to go and when you want to go. After that, you can look at different itineraries and things like that and reach out to a travel agent. Many people don't realize that the cruise lines really prefer for you to work with a travel agent, because we actually know a lot more than you would just going straight to the website, and there's a lot of extras things that we can set up for you. So if you are going on a cruise, whether it's just you and another person, or if you're going on a group, look at talking to a travel agent. Look at it. It does make a big difference. And then when you speak to a travel agent, just to have that information to get started helps them out. It helps them out a lot. Now, for a travel agent who's looking to do group cruises, training is always a big question that comes up. Every cruise line has a travel agent back office that you can do training in. They all have training for group cruises. If group cruising is something that you want to do, then I highly suggest that you take the group training, get certified at each of the cruise lines, and then in turn do some mock booking on the site. Go in there and act like you're setting up a group cruise, so you can understand what the steps are to actually set it up. Learn what the amenities are for group cruising. Just like with Royal Caribbean Royal Caribbean and Carnival both have that. For every 15 cabins, you can get 1 cabin free. And Norwegian has, for every 14 cabins, you get 2 free, or you can choose some other extra amenities to go along with it. So, and one of the things that you can definitely use to promote, to get groups, is to let them know that whoever the coordinator is for the group, they can earn themselves a free cabin. All they have to pay is taxes and fees. So instead of paying, say, $1,200 or $1,400 for their cabin, they only have to pay maybe $3, because they have to pay taxes and fees. That's never free. I'm sorry, this mango lassi is like really good. So when you're trying to reach out to find groups to book for cruises, you really don't have to go that far, because I know a lot of people have affinity groups. You know, you're in clubs. Some of you are single parents. You have teachers. You know, teachers need a break too during the summer. You can have people in sporting teams. You can have a crochet club, a Zumba club, fraternal club, sorority, anything like that. Just reach out to the people that you know. Start promoting the group pricing and things of that nature. Because I know for MSC, group pricing starts at $323 per person for a 7-day cruise, which is actually an awesome price. Because generally a 7-day cruise is about, for 2 in a room, it's going to cost you between $8 to $12, just depending on which part of the Caribbean you're going to. But I hope I answered some people's questions. I didn't get any actual questions today, but I hope you answered. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me and ask me any questions. And then if you're interested in learning more about being in this industry or learning more about the specific company that I am working with, you could feel free to send me a message. Send me a message, ask questions, and then once I finish this, I'm actually going to post my blog, because I'm actually working on a blog for this specific topic, and my blog is Lady, L-A-D-I-T speaks.wordpress.com. You cannot go online and book a group for a cruise line. Sandra wants to know, is it easier to contact the cruise line for a group booking, or can you go on site and book? You cannot book groups. The largest I think you can do is maybe 4 to 6 cabins for most cruise lines. But honestly, you do better if you actually talk to a professional. If you're coming from a travel agent side, I would actually do the research first to figure out which cruise lines actually, like say for instance you're a client. If you're a client and you want to book a group and you don't want to go through a travel agent, you can't go do it online. They're going to send you to a special website. You're going to get a call center. You're not going to get somebody that's going to personally work with you the entire time. You're going to have somebody different possibly every time you call. If you work with a travel agent, the travel agent will help you set everything up, and through a travel agent back office, we can book an online group booking, but client not online booking. And as an agent, I can actually see all the possible amenities and bonuses that you can get when it comes to grouping a book. I'm trying to savor the last bit of my mango lassi. Anybody have any other questions? I'm going to head off and head back. I actually don't know where I'm going. I have 2 blogs that I have to finish writing today. And I've already ran my errands for the day, but it's so nice. I kind of don't want to go inside. Not sure what I want to do. But if no one else has any other questions, you're welcome, Sandra. If no one else has any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and bid everybody adieu. Enjoy your weekend and keep traveling.